So if you do a search for healthy aging, like a lot of you probably just did, you're going to find all kinds of information about making your skin glow and your hair look more vibrant and things like that. And although those are great, when you think of healthy aging, I'm going to suggest that you think more about the totality of your aging. Think more about the health of your organs and what you're doing each day to keep them working well as you get older. Think about your cognition, think about your heart health and all the metrics that make that up. Think about staying pain free, off of meds, with great blood work, and staying out of the hospital as you get older. That's really what healthy aging should really mean. And so, aside from nice hair, nice skin, and things like that, I think the question becomes, what's the one thing I can do to not only look great on the outside, but also really take care of myself holistically and treat basically every component of physiology to keep me out of the hospital and keep me feeling well and doing my best each day, right? And if you boil down what that one thing is, it's the one thing that reaches out and touches almost every other aspect of your physiology. And think about this. If you can improve your sleep and get really good deep sleep science, and if you can also have a behavioral change in your life that's also leading to detoxifying and pushing harsh chemicals out of your cells and out of your body, and something that can also keep your body composition healthy or make it healthy to where you're lean and you're strong. And therefore, you've got the muscle mass to protect your joints and to give you the kind of movements that are going to stimulate the heart really well and stimulate your brain as well. If you had a one big catch all for all these things, it's exercise. It's getting the right exercise prescription for your body. And if you think about it, it improves sleep quality. We know that. Exercise, when done right, if you really follow all the metrics necessary for where you are right now in your life, if you do it right, not only do you have deeper and more restorative sleep, but you also have better brain function, you have far better heart function, your blood vessels actually get stronger and healthier, and it serves as a fantastic antidepressant, anti-anxiety. I mean, the list goes on and on. You actually create, with the right exercise, really strong pharmacological effects without the kind of risks that come with medication. And that really is the power of exercise science done right. You'll improve virtually every aspect of your physiology and even your psychology. People who exercise regularly and properly and to the right intensities and all the things I'm going to talk about in a moment here, people who do that have a much greater sense of calm. Their hormones are in far better balance. Their mobility is stronger. They're more pain free as they get older. I mean, it's incredible what you can do. So let me give you just a little bit of information in terms of what crafting an exercise program is really like. So the first thing I would tell you is it is going to be progressive. What you'll do your first few days is very different than what you'll do on day 10, and that's very different than what you'll do on day 40 or 50. So what you're doing is generally very progressive. And sometimes you do regress a little bit, especially if, let's say, you've been sick for a few days, or maybe you do get injured somehow, or something happens. Some components of your exercise should actually regress, and that's okay. Don't be afraid to let that happen. Don't be one of these people who, they're insistent on going running 3 days a week. And so even when they're having a tremendous knee problem or back problem, they're just going to fight right through it. That's not usually the appropriate response. So some regression is okay. Give yourself the mental permission to be able to do that. The other thing is that you really want to be concerned about every muscle and joint in your body, that they should all go into your exercise prescription, but some are going to be much higher priorities than others, right? So let's say you've got very underactive glutes, for example. If the glute muscles are underactive, like they are in a lot of people, and they're overstretched and they're not firing well, then your program should favor those muscles quite a bit. On the other hand, let's say you've got just a little bit of weakness here in the anterior deltoid or in another muscle group that's not that critical. As long as it's not affecting your day to day, that's generally a lower priority, as long as it's not causing pain or being disruptive in your biomechanics. So the other thing to think about too is how much time are you going to commit each week? What's realistic and sustainable for you? If you're someone who's got a very wild schedule and maybe you have multiple kids and you never really know what's going to come up each day, you might want to craft a program where all you're really devoting are a couple of hours each week. Even though that's not optimal, it's better to have something sustainable that you're really truly going to stick with than to try to be, highfalutin in terms of how much time and effort you can really put in. Otherwise, you could feel very defeated when you set a goal for, let's say, 4 hours a week, and then you only get one sometimes. You might just end up disengaging entirely from your program. That happens quite a bit. So try to be realistic about your priorities. Be realistic about what that programming should look like. Seek out the right advice too. Get a coach. I've always said this, get the right health coach and personal trainer, whether it's with me or somebody at Perfect Personal Training or somewhere elsewhere. But get someone who really knows their stuff, who's got a lot of experience and who's got the clinical skills as well, who can really guide you and lead you and save you years and years of trial and error and not knowing what it is you're doing wrong and potentially getting very injured as well. So there's a lot to it. I don't want to suggest that it's easy, but what I do suggest is that you restructure yourself cognitively to really make exercise a priority if you're concerned about anti-aging, because honestly, it is just about as important, if not more so, than even nutrition or staying away from smoking and things like that. Exercise really is one of the greatest panaceas that we have for human health. Anyway, if you'd like to get my help or the help of a perfect personal trainer, go ahead and reach out to us anytime. My information's in the description. And as always, you can ask questions and provide feedback in the comments. Please be sure to like and subscribe so you get more videos like this in the future. Thanks, everybody.